Glowing star, what if one simple daily habit could restore the muscle strength you had at 40, even in your 70s or 80s? Flexed biceps, why do some 80-year-olds still lift weights, hike mountains, and live independently, while others struggle to rise from a chair? DNA, new science reveals, age-related muscle loss isn't inevitable, it's preventable, and even reversible, if you act now. By the age of 80, the average person may lose up to 50% of their muscle mass compared to their younger self. This phenomenon, known as sarcopenia, is not merely a statistic, it is a silent epidemic that undermines the independence and vitality of tens of millions of seniors worldwide. Over 300,000 older adults are hospitalized each year from falls directly linked to muscle weakness, and the numbers continue to rise. But here's what's truly surprising: significant muscle loss is not inevitable. Yes, many people in their 70s struggle with basic movements, climbing stairs, rising from a chair, or walking across a room without assistance. But at the same time, there exists a remarkable group of older adults known as SuperAgers, individuals in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who defy expectations. These men and women not only maintain full independence, but also hike, lift weights, and outperform younger adults in strength and endurance tests. What's their secret? According to researchers at the Mayo Clinic, these SuperAgers share one thing in common: they engage in very specific, science-backed practices that not only slow muscle loss, but actually reverse it. Even more startling, 93% of older adults have never heard of these strategies, despite their effectiveness. And perhaps most concerning of all, many doctors are still giving outdated advice about muscle loss and aging, advice that completely contradicts the latest research from top institutions like Harvard Medical School. There is one daily practice that Harvard researchers have identified as the most powerful habit to rebuild muscle, even for people in their 70s and 80s. Yet it is often overlooked entirely, not just by the public, but even by healthcare providers. This first habit is something you may be doing wrong every single day, a common mistake that activates genetic pathways responsible for accelerating muscle decline. And correcting this one habit may be the deciding factor in whether you flourish in your later years or become increasingly dependent on others. So stay with us until the end, because this information may change how you age from this moment forward. Speech balloon. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. We love hearing from our global community. And if you find value in this message, tap the like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the next breakthrough in healthy aging. Now, without further delay, let us begin our journey. We start, not with what you eat or how you move, but with something counterintuitive. Something most people would never guess is connected to long-term strength and vitality. Habit number 7 is the incorporation of hormetic stressors, a practice that many of the world's strongest and most independent seniors swear by, even into their 80s and beyond. These individuals routinely expose their bodies to a special type of positive stress, not harmful, but hormetic. And while it may sound strange at first, science shows it can reawaken your body's ability to regenerate muscle, restore balance, and activate healing pathways long thought dormant. Let us begin with a truth that may sound strange at first: the right kind of stress can make your body stronger. This principle is known as hormesis, a process where brief, controlled exposure to mild stressors leads to long-term benefits. Though these stressors might harm the body in high doses, in small, intentional amounts they actually train your cells to grow stronger, more resilient, and more adaptable. According to research from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, certain short-term stressors can activate protective cellular mechanisms that preserve muscle mass, enhance function, and even promote growth, even among individuals in their 80s. The first and perhaps most accessible hormetic stressor is temperature variation. Finishing a shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water, or engaging in brief cold plunges, stimulates a special type of fat called brown fat. This triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new mitochondria, your cell's energy factories, and the release of adiponectin, a hormone that shields muscle tissue from wasting. Heat offers similar benefits. Hot baths and saunas stimulate the production of heat shock proteins, powerful molecules that repair damaged muscle tissue and prevent further degradation. One study from Finland found that individuals who used saunas 4 to 7 times per week had 40% less muscle loss over a decade compared to those who used saunas rarely or not at all. The second powerful hormetic stressor is intermittent fasting, also called time-restricted eating. By limiting food intake to an 8 to 10-hour window each day, seniors can activate a cellular, cleansing process known as autophagy. This process removes damaged components from muscle cells, improving muscle quality and energy efficiency. A study from the Salk Institute revealed that within just 12 weeks, older adults practicing time-restricted eating improved muscle mitochondrial function by up to 10%, even without any change in body weight or exercise routines. And the third hormetic stressor? It's a form of strength building that requires no gym at all. Known as overcoming isometric contractions, this practice involves pushing or pulling against an immovable object, like a wall, countertop, or resistance strap, with maximum effort for 5 to 10 seconds. Though simple, these intense bursts send powerful signals to the muscle, telling it to preserve size, strength, and function, without placing strain on aging joints. The beauty of these stressors lies in their short duration and long-term benefit. They are not meant to exhaust you, but to stimulate your body's natural repair and growth systems. When done intermittently and with recovery time, they activate key genes like SIRT1 and FOXO, which are deeply involved in muscle preservation, longevity, and cellular health. Begin gently, finish your shower cold, skip breakfast once or twice a week, press against a wall with intention and strength. Do not overreach, but do not underestimate the adaptive power hidden within your cells. This is how SuperAgers stay youthful, by challenging their bodies just enough to grow stronger. Now, let us turn to another critical, yet widely misunderstood, factor, the timing of your protein intake. Most seniors focus on how much protein they eat. But studies now show that when you consume protein may be even more important than how much. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, a condition known as anabolic resistance. That means the same amount of protein builds less muscle than it did in your youth, unless it's consumed strategically. A landmark study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who spread their protein intake evenly across 3 meals, rather than loading it all at dinner, saw up to 25% more muscle synthesis. Here's why. Every meal creates a short window of about 3 to 4 hours in which your muscles can use protein to grow stronger. If you skip protein at breakfast or lunch, those opportunities are wasted. The optimal approach? Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal. Include protein-rich foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or protein smoothies in the morning, not just toast or cereal. At lunch and dinner, maintain this rhythm with lean meats, fish, tofu, beans, lentils, or dairy, depending on your dietary preferences. In a 12-week study at the University of Texas, seniors who followed this method, without changing anything else, gained an average of 1.2 pounds of lean muscle, simply by spreading their protein intake evenly throughout the day. That's the power of timing. It's not just about how much you eat, it's when you eat it. Protein eaten at the right time becomes fuel for strength. Protein eaten all at once becomes a missed opportunity. And now, we arrive at habit number 5, optimizing your vitamin D levels. More than 80% of seniors have insufficient vitamin D, often without knowing it. And while this nutrient is known for its role in bone health, modern science reveals it may be even more critical for muscle preservation and strength. Recent research from Harvard Medical School has shown that vitamin D activates genes responsible for muscle protein synthesis, directly contributing to growth, coordination, and recovery. Your muscles contain specific vitamin D receptors, and when activated, they initiate a cascade of biological processes that build and protect muscle fibers. A study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% greater muscle strength, better balance, and faster reaction times compared to those who were deficient, key factors in preventing falls and preserving independence. And what do SuperAgers have in common? They consistently maintain vitamin D levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter. In contrast, the average senior has levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter, a range considered clinically deficient. While sunshine is a natural source of vitamin D, aging skin produces 50% less. For most seniors, supplementation is essential. Yet the standard dosage of 600 IU per day is far too low to restore optimal levels. To restore strength as we age, it is not enough to know what to do, we must also know how much. For vitamin D, that number is far higher than most believe. While the standard recommendation for older adults is 600 IU per day, mounting research shows that this is woefully insufficient for maintaining optimal muscle health. Most older adults require between 2,000 and 4,000 IU daily to reach blood levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter, the threshold consistently observed in individuals with exceptional strength and resilience. But these numbers should be adjusted based on personal blood test results. A simple 25-OH-D test will reveal your current levels and allow your physician to help you fine-tune your dosage. In addition to supplements, support your vitamin D levels with natural sources, include fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products in your diet. Also, aim for 15 to 20 minutes of direct midday sunlight whenever possible, ideally with your arms or legs exposed, though with aging skin, this is no longer sufficient on its own. And here comes a critical warning: vitamin D does not work alone. For the body to safely process and direct calcium into your bones, and not into your arteries, it must work in tandem with vitamin K2. Found in fermented foods like natto, aged cheeses, and certain animal products, vitamin K2 ensures calcium is laid down in your skeleton and not mistakenly deposited in blood vessels, a process known as arterial calcification. This essential nutrient pairing is often overlooked, but it can determine whether your efforts strengthen you or silently harm you. Always combine vitamin D with adequate vitamin K2, and consult your physician if you're unsure. And now we arrive at habit number 4, mastering inflammation management. One of the greatest differences between frailty and longevity is inflammation. In recent years, scientists have coined the term inflammaging, the chronic, low-grade inflammation that accumulates with age. This silent force accelerates muscle protein breakdown, interferes with anabolic signaling, and reduces your body's ability to repair and grow after exercise or protein intake. A landmark study from Tufts University found that older adults with high levels of inflammatory markers lost muscle mass at 3 times the rate of those with low inflammation, regardless of how much protein they ate or how much they exercised. But here's the good news: SuperAgers, those rare individuals who maintain incredible vitality into their 80s and beyond, are united by one trait: they have very low levels of inflammation. And it's no accident. They follow targeted, daily strategies to fight it. First, they prioritize sleep. Getting 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted rest in a dark, quiet environment lowers inflammatory cytokines by as much as 40%. Just one night of poor sleep can trigger molecular cascades that accelerate muscle breakdown. Second, they care for their gut health. Recent studies from the University of California show that aging alters the gut microbiome in ways that raise inflammation. SuperAgers fight back by consuming over 30 unique plant foods per week, rich in fiber and polyphenol. They also regularly eat fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut, each packed with natural probiotics that restore microbial balance and calm the immune system. Third, they train strategically. While movement is essential, overtraining, especially at high intensity, can worsen inflammation in aging bodies. SuperAgers typically engage in moderate intensity exercise most days, such as walking, swimming, or bodyweight resistance, with brief high-intensity intervals once or twice a week to stimulate growth without overwhelming the system. Finally, they include anti-inflammatory nutrients in their diets. Omega-3 fatty acids, from fatty fish or supplements, 2-3G daily. Curcumin, from turmeric. Polyphenol, from berries, green tea, and extra virgin olive oil. These compounds work synergistically to reduce inflammatory markers by up to 29% in as little as 12 weeks, according to findings in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. To monitor your progress, request a simple blood test for high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, HSCRP. SuperAgers often test below 1 mg per liter. The average senior? 3 to 5 times higher. Let us now explore habit number 3, targeted micronutrient supplementation. While macronutrients like protein get most of the attention, it is the micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, that unlock your body's ability to absorb, utilize, and build from the foods you consume and the movements you perform. Neglecting them may leave you stalled, exercising faithfully, eating well, but still losing muscle. Among these, magnesium stands out. Often referred to as the forgotten electrolyte, magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions, many of which are central to muscle contraction, recovery, and nerve function. Over 70% of seniors are deficient in magnesium, and that deficit quietly drains strength. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with sufficient magnesium had 30% greater grip strength and markedly improved walking speed and stability compared to those with even mild deficiencies. SuperAgers routinely consume magnesium-rich foods, dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, and even dark chocolate. They also supplement, favoring bioavailable forms such as magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, which are easier on the stomach and more effectively absorbed. Next, we have creatine, long associated with young athletes, but now recognized as a potent tool for seniors as well. Research from McMaster University found that adults over 60 who supplemented with 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day experienced notable gains in muscle mass, strength, and cognitive performance, even when compared to exercise alone. Creatine works by increasing ATP production, your body's short-term energy source, and by pulling water into muscle cells, creating a pro-growth environment at the cellular level. And finally, let us not overlook methylated vitamin B12, a critical nutrient that becomes harder to absorb with age due to declining stomach acid. Even mild B12 deficiencies can cause muscle weakness, fatigue, balance problems, and neuropathy. Yet many seniors go undiagnosed. It is both surprising and concerning that some of the most commonly prescribed medications, including metformin for blood sugar and proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, can deplete vitamin B12 over time. And yet, this crucial nutrient plays a direct role in the production of cellular energy for muscle and the function of your nervous system. This is why individuals who age gracefully often choose to supplement with methylcobalamin, the bioactive form of B12, rather than the cheaper and less absorbable form, cyanocobalamin, commonly found in multivitamins. They don't guess. They test. Alongside B12, several trace minerals also play vital roles in protein synthesis and insulin sensitivity, both of which are essential for directing nutrients into your muscles, where they can be used to build strength and restore function. These include zinc, selenium, chromium. A 5-year study from Tufts University found that older adults with adequate levels of these micronutrients preserved up to 22% more muscle mass compared to those with deficiencies. Rather than relying on generic multivitamins, SuperAgers often undergo micronutrient testing to pinpoint individual needs, then supplement with precision. This tailored strategy avoids wasting money on unnecessary supplements and ensures that every nutrient serves a purpose in their aging strategy. Now, let's move to habit number 2, preserving the neuromuscular junctions, the very bridges through which your nerves activate your muscles. While much attention is placed on muscle fibers, the real decline often begins not in the muscle itself, but in the fragile connection between nerves and muscle cells. These connections, known as neuromuscular junctions, NMJs, function like electrical outlets. If they weaken, your brain can no longer properly command your muscles, no matter how much protein you eat or how often you train. This deterioration accelerates after the age of 60, but it is not irreversible. Research from the University of Michigan shows that SuperAgers, those in their 70s and 80s who remain exceptionally strong, consistently exhibit healthier, more responsive NMJs. And they do so by practicing specific strategies that support these vital connections. The first, engaging in complex, coordinated movement. Activities like Tai Chi, dance, tennis, or ping pong require more than movement, they demand precision, timing, and brain-body coordination. These patterns activate neural circuits that simple walking or basic strength training do not. In a study published in the Journal of Physiology, seniors who practice coordination-focused activities twice a week retain 31% more neuromuscular integrity than those who only perform traditional exercise. Second, they include specific compounds in their supplementation protocols. Alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl-L-carnitine support the NMJ by reducing oxidative stress. A special form of vitamin B1 called benfotiamine, derived from Chinese club moss, has been shown to boost acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that directly activates muscles. Third, they stimulate the vagus nerve, which regulates communication between the brain and body. Just 5 minutes a day of box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again, can increase neural activation of muscles by up to 15%. And finally, they engage their minds. A groundbreaking study from Columbia University found that seniors who consistently practiced challenging mental activities, puzzles, chess, strategic games, exhibited better muscle performance than those who did not. The brain and body are connected. When you train one, you strengthen the other. And now, we arrive at habit number 1, the most powerful and proven strategy of all. Progressive resistance training. Researchers at Tufts University have called it the most effective anti-aging intervention ever discovered. And SuperAgers use it not sparingly, but strategically, with deliberate, measured progression that addresses the biological drivers of muscle loss. Let's be clear, muscle follows the law of demand, use it or lose it. But not just any use will do. What truly preserves strength after 60 is progressive overload. That means your muscles must be challenged beyond their comfort zone, not just moved gently in the same routine week after week. Walking, water aerobics, and lifting the same light weights may support heart health, but they do not stimulate meaningful muscle growth. SuperAgers focus on intensity over duration. A landmark study from McMaster University found that older adults who performed high-intensity strength training twice a week, working close to muscle failure, saw greater muscle gains than those training moderately 5 days a week. Reaching momentary muscular failure, the point where you cannot do one more repetition with proper form, activates the body's deepest anabolic pathways, stimulating growth for up to 72 hours after a single session. They also prioritize compound movements, exercises like squats, deadlifts, rows, and presses that recruit multiple muscle groups and create a hormonal cascade far more powerful than isolated exercises like bicep curls. Third, they track and increase resistance over time, what's known as progressive overload. Without it, your body adapts and stagnates. Fourth, they emphasize the eccentric phase, the controlled lowering of weight, which produces high muscle tension with less joint stress. It's especially beneficial for older adults and those just starting their journey. And here's the most inspiring part. A major study from the University of Alabama found that seniors in their 70s who began a progressive strength program gained an average of 3.3 pounds of lean muscle and increased their total body strength by 35% in just 12 weeks, with simultaneous improvements in blood sugar, bone density, and cognitive sharpness. So what's the biggest mistake most seniors make? They believe resistance training is unsafe, or that it's too late for them. But the real danger lies in doing nothing. Allowing muscles to fade away leads to frailty, falls, dependence, and loss of independence. But with just 2 30-minute resistance sessions per week, you can dramatically change the trajectory of your life. Let us now summarize these 7 evidence-based habits that allow certain 80-year-olds to move, live, and feel decades younger. 1. Progressive resistance training. 2. Neuromuscular junction preservation. 3. Targeted vitamin and mineral optimization. 4. Daily inflammation management. 5. Optimizing vitamin D levels. 6. Strategic protein timing. 7. Harnessing hormetic stressors. Begin today. Start with the habit that feels most doable, then build slowly, habit by habit. Every choice you make today is an investment in your future strength, vitality, and freedom. Speech balloon: which of these habits have you already adopted? Which one surprised you the most? Do you know someone in their 70s or 80s who still lifts, hikes, or moves like someone half their age? We want to hear your story. Share it in the comments below. Thumbs up if you found this message valuable, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful guidance on restoring health and independence. Your strength is not gone. It is waiting to be rebuilt, reclaimed, and renewed.